The teasers dropped. The fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down. The reunion we didn't expect. BLACKPINK is finally back. Welcome to Starscope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
Yes, we do.
Today, our mission in this deep dive is to, well, look beyond the glittering headlines. We are breaking down how BLACKPINK completely dismantled the traditional K-pop machine, only to rebuild it in their own image.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to analyze their monumental 8th anniversary reunion, the sociological chaos of their solo hiatus, and of course that earth-shattering announcement of their 2025 world tour.
Right, because the sheer scale of this moment, it really cannot be overstated. We aren't just talking about a group releasing new music here.
No, not at all.
We are watching a live masterclass in industry leverage, in fandom psychology, and honestly, unprecedented corporate restructuring. It's wild.
It really is. But to understand the massive corporate shifts, we actually have to start with something deeply personal. Because before the red carpets and the global press releases, this seismic shift began in a remarkably quiet way.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I am talking about the Midnight Weverse Live on August 7th, 2024. For those of you listening who aren't deeply entrenched in the daily rhythms of K-pop, you really have to picture the tension here. 9 months.
Yeah.
That is how long these 4 women were publicly apart.
Which, I mean, let's be real, in the K-pop ecosystem, that is a literal eternity. Remember, this is a group that practically lived in each other's pockets since their trainee days.
Exactly. They were inseparable. And then, as the clock strikes midnight in South Korea, millions of phones just light up with a single notification.
The collective gasp of the fandom.
Oh, totally. Suddenly, there they are, the OT4, all 4 original members, reunited on this totally casual live stream. They had 2 cakes, they sang the birthday song, and they just started spilling all these behind-the-scenes secrets.
And the emotional weight of that live stream, it was just staggering. It stripped away that highly polished PR veneer we are so used to seeing from them.
Right, it felt so raw.
It did. And the absolute emotional peak for me was when Jennie and Jisoo opened up about their solo schedules during that 9-month hiatus. They admitted, very candidly, that they felt incredibly lonely working without the other members.
Yeah, that was a heavy moment.
I mean, if you've spent a decade turning to your left and seeing your team right there with you, the silence of a solo dressing room, it can be deafening.
It grounds them. But let's be real, the tears were very quickly followed by some top-tier chaotic energy. We saw the Unnie line, the older members, Jisoo and Jennie, just mercilessly teasing their maknae, the youngest member, Lisa.
Oh my gosh, it was pure sibling rivalry. They had Lisa completely cornered about her upcoming acting debut in The White Lotus Season 3.
They were relentless.
They really were. They were trying every trick in the book to get her to accidentally drop a spoiler on live broadcasts.
And when that didn't work, they just pivoted to grilling her about her solo music.
Yeah.
Lisa's solo track, Rockstar, is a literal global phenomenon, and her own members are looking at her on this live stream, demanding to know why she was refusing to film the Rockstar TikTok dance challenge with them.
It's exactly that chemistry that makes their fandom, the B-Links, so fiercely loyal. You can manufacture a catchy song, but you cannot manufacture that specific brand of authentic, lived-in camaraderie.
True, very true. But let me play devil's advocate here for a second, because while that live stream felt like a warm, intimate hug, what happened the very next day on August 8th was a total masterclass in manufactured exclusivity.
Oh, the fan sign.
Yes. I am talking about the official Our Area with Blank fan sign event. According to the official notices on Weverse, this meet and greet was limited to exactly 88 fans. Plus, 2 extra winners announced later due to cancellations.
90 people out of a global fandom of tens of millions. The mathematical odds of getting into that room are, they're practically zero.
Which brings me to the mechanics of how this actually worked. Because if you think securing Taylor Swift tickets was an Olympic sport, you haven't seen the corporate genius of a K-pop fan sign.
It is next level.
It really is. For those of you unfamiliar, Weverse isn't just some social media app. It is a proprietary fan community platform owned by HYBE that specifically monetizes artist-to-fan interactions. Getting a spot in this 90-person room wasn't just some random lottery.
No, no.
It was a highly calculated digital grassroots campaign.
Oh, it was brutal. It required, peer-reviewed fandom dedication.
Exactly. I like to compare getting into this 90-person fan sign to winning the Willy Wonka golden ticket, but exponentially harder. Because, it required this intense dedication and navigating strict spam filters and entry deadlines. First, you had to physically hold a paid Jubal Blink membership.
Barrier to entry number one?
Yep. Then you had to post your fan letters or memories using the specific hashtag #AurariWithBlink. But here's the mechanism that absolutely fascinates me. YG Entertainment stated that your chances of winning increased based on community engagement.
That part is so clever.
It is. You needed your fellow fans to like and comment on your submission to trigger the algorithm.
Which basically gamifies the love. It forces the fans to not just engage with the artist, but to actively promote the platform itself by rallying their digital neighborhoods.
Right. You couldn't just buy your way in.
Yeah.
You had to canvass for digital votes. And it was a total minefield. The rules explicitly stated that if you used dishonest methods like spamming or plagiarizing, you were instantly disqualified. And if you somehow miraculously conquered the algorithm and actually won, you had to navigate a terrifying bureaucratic final boss.
Oh, no.
The spam filter. If your winning email went to your junk folder and you missed the 3:00 p.m. Korean Standard Time response deadline, you forfeited your spot.
Can you even imagine the heartbreak? Surviving a global algorithm only to be defeated by a Gmail spam filter?
It's savage, just completely savage. But from a business perspective, it is brilliant. By making the barrier to entry so astronomically high and algorithmically dependent, Weverse and YG ensured that the 90 fans in that room weren't just casual listeners.
Right, they are the hardcore stan.
Exactly. They were the most dialed-in, highly engaged, platform-driving superfans on the planet. This wasn't just a sweet anniversary party. It was a highly calibrated data and engagement harvest.
Which, honestly, is the inevitable reality of managing a fandom this massive. But you have to view this extreme level of gatekeeping through the lens of what the group and the fans had just endured over the previous 9 months.
And that is exactly where things get complicated. Because that's not even the wildest part of this comeback. Wait until you hear what Knet's uncovered during their hiatus.
Right, because to truly understand why a 90-person fan sign felt like a profound reunion, you have to look at the sheer chaos of the solo era they had just survived.
Let's break down the timeline because this is where the traditional K-pop machine breaks down entirely. In December 2023, the members made a decision that sent shockwaves through the industry. They ended their individual solo contracts with YG Entertainment.
A huge move.
Massive.
Hmm.
Now, structurally, how does this work? YG still owns the intellectual property of the group named BLACKPINK. So for group activities, they are tied to YG. But for their solo careers, they went completely rogue.
They didn't just sign with other agencies either. They built their own empires.
Yeah, they did.
Jennie launched OA, standing for ODD Atelier. Lisa launched Aloud. Jisoo set up Blasoo. And Rosé joined the Black label in June 2024, which is technically an associate company of YG, but operates with deep creative independence.
This is a monumental paradigm shift. Historically, the K-pop industry is a top-down monopoly. The agency invests millions into trainees, and in return, they demand total control over every aspect of the idol's life and career to recoup that investment.
Yeah, the classic system.
Exactly. So for a girl group of this magnitude to reject that model and become the literal CEOs of their own labels, it's unprecedented.
But freedom is a double-edged sword. When you step out from under the protective PR umbrella of a major agency like YG, you are suddenly exposed to the elements, and the spotlight on them was blinding.
Which brings us to the sociology of the Hallyu wave. With the girls flying solo and the official group machinery paused, the rumor mill went into absolute overdrive. According to extensive reporting by Koreaboo, the controversies were just relentless.
It felt like every morning there was a new trending hashtag trying to tear one of them down.
Just look at Jennie's solo run over those 9 months. She faced heavily mixed reactions from netizens regarding her live vocal stability at Lollapalooza. Then a new tattoo suddenly reignited the endless, exhausting dating rumors with BTS's V.
Ugh, those never end.
Never. And shortly after, a single vague social media post sparked massive bisexual rumors. And she was even embroiled in what Korean media officially dubbed a surprise performance controversy.
It's exhausting. And this intense scrutiny wasn't isolated to Jennie either. The vacuum of a group hiatus forces the internet to manufacture its own content. If the agency isn't feeding the algorithm with new music videos, the netizens will feed it with rumors.
Exactly. Which brings us to Rosé. Koreaboo detailed a massive viral controversy that erupted on Nate Pan, which is one of South Korea's most popular online community forums.
Yeah.
Netizens started linking Rosé to Astro's Cha Eun-woo, claiming they were secretly dating.
Oh, I remember this.
And the alleged proof, it was literally just photos of them visiting similar public locations or cafes months apart.
It's the ultimate symptom of parasocial hyperfixation. I mean, people were analyzing background scenery.
But this is what I want to push back on, or at least explore deeper with you. When a massive group goes on hiatus, does this relentless rumor-mongering happen because the fans are genuinely malicious? Or is it simply the inevitable byproduct of an attention economy that just doesn't know how to handle silence?
That is a phenomenal question, and it really highlights the stark divide between domestic Korean netizens, often called K-nets, and the international fandom.
Right.
International fans largely looked at the Rosé and Chaemu rumors and just laughed them off as completely absurd. But domestically, on forums like Nate Pan, the debate was treated with total sincerity.
And it comes down to cultural context, right? Specifically, this concept of the 97-liner.
And exactly. For those listening, age-based hierarchy is deeply embedded in South Korean culture. If you were born in the same year, you were considered true peers or friends in a way that transcends industry boundaries.
Makes sense.
Both Rosé and Cha Eun-woo were born in 1997. They are 97-liners, so of course they run in similar social circles.
Right, which makes the dating accusations even more frustrating for the fans who understand how these social dynamics actually work.
And that frustration absolutely boiled over on Nate Pan. What started as a rumor quickly turned into a fascinating display of fandom defense mechanisms. The top voted comments weren't just dismissing the rumor, they were aggressively shutting it down.
I saw those.
Yeah, people were pointing out the 97-liner connection, writing things like, "Is Cha Eun-woo crazy?" Basically implying he wouldn't risk his own career over a perilous public romance.
What my absolute favorite quote from the Koreaboo report, which perfectly captures the unhinged protective energy of a dedicated stan, was a user who simply typed, "Stop trying to implicate Rosé, you psychotic evil troll."
Wow. It's aggressive, but it proves a larger point about the resilience of BLACKPINK and their relationship with their fans. Think about the psychological toll of this solo era.
It must have been immense.
You are building a company from scratch, managing your own staff, handling your own brand deals, all while dodging daily viral controversies and dodging paparazzi who are analyzing your every move. A lesser group would have fractured under that pressure.
But they survived the storm, and they came out stronger. Which perfectly sets the stage for the true climax of this deep dive. Later in this deep dive, we'll talk about the massive 2025 World Tour announcement that literally crashed the internet.
I am still analyzing the corporate mechanics of that announcement because, honestly, it changes everything.
Before we get to that, if you love staying updated on your biases and diving into the real business behind the music, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope K Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead. Okay, so coming out of the chaos of the solo rumors and the highly calculated intimacy of that 90-person Weverse fan sign, BLACKPINK needed to shift the narrative. They needed to remind the world why they hold the crown.
And nobody does a cinematic flex quite like them.
Enter the pink carpet. On August 9th, exactly one day after their official anniversary, they hosted a massive event at Times Square in the Yeongdeungpo district of Seoul.
Just visualize the logistics of this. Yeongdeungpo Times Square is this sprawling, multi-level commercial hub, and they completely took it over.
They ditched the traditional red carpet for a dazzling pink one. This was their first highly public, fully sanctioned group appearance in nearly a year. The fan cams from the event are wild. I mean, the screams from the crowd are absolutely deafening.
I got chills just watching the clips online.
Right. They brought out a massive pink cake, celebrated with the crowd, and premiered their new documentary film, BLACKPINK World Tour, Born Pink in Cinemas.
Which is a logistical triumph in itself. That film didn't just hit a few local theaters, it premiered in 110 countries globally between August 14th and 31st. It was a literal victory lap.
It was a celebration of their past, for sure. But the real bombshell, the news that caused the entire industry to stop and take notes, was about their future. Let's fast forward to the official report dropped by YG Entertainment on February 6, 2025.
The announcement that essentially broke the global ticketing servers before tickets even went on sale.
Exactly. YG officially confirmed a complete group comeback, kicking off with a massive 2025 world tour. To understand the gravity of this, you have to look at the staggering statistics of their previous Born Pink tour. We are talking about an all-time record for a K-pop girl group. 1.8 million attendees across 34 cities and 66 shows.
Let that sink in. When you are moving 1.8 million people around the globe, you aren't just putting on a concert, you are operating a small touring city.
Is massive.
The logistics of stage rigging, international tax law, work visas for hundreds of backup dancers and crew, it is a mammoth undertaking.
Which brings us to the most critical detail from YG Entertainment's February 6th statement. We have to unpack this specific phrasing. YG stated, and I quote, "This year we have established a separate project organization to support BLACKPINK's extensive group activities, and the comeback preparations are progressing swiftly."
That phrase, separate project organization, is arguably the most important string of words YG has published in a decade.
So let's explain how this works mechanically. We know the members left YG's solo management. They are now the executives of their own lives. So how does a separate project organization function when you have four independent CEOs sitting across the negotiating table from YG executives?
This is where K-pop evolves from music to high-level corporate structuring. This new organization is essentially a joint venture syndicate.
Okay, break that down for us.
In the past, the artists were just employees executing the agency's vision. Now, it's a B2B, a business-to-business partnership. The members are bringing their personal star power and retaining ultimate creative veto power while outsourcing the headache of global infrastructure to YG.
Right, so YG provides the supply chains for the light sticks, the stadium bookings, the insurance policies, but the members hold the actual power.
Exactly. And the anticipation for this 2025 tour is built entirely on this new dynamic. We are looking at absolute all-kill potential across global charts.
For sure.
And for those listening who might be new to the terminology, an all-kill in K-pop is a highly coveted achievement where a song hits #1 on every single major South Korean streaming and download chart simultaneously.
And they are primed for it. When YG dropped that teaser video on their official blog, it was pure cinematic warfare. They showed these massive, sprawling stadium venues flooded with oceans of pink light sticks. It wasn't just an announcement, it was a declaration of absolute dominance.
Because it proves they have transcended the typical idol life cycle. They aren't just participating in the industry anymore, they are defining its absolute ceiling.
And this brings us to the ultimate question regarding the future of K-pop itself. Anyone who follows this industry knows about the dreaded 7-year curse. By South Korean law, the standard maximum length of an exclusive K-pop idol contract is 7 years.
Yeah.
Historically, this is when groups fracture. One member wants to act, another wants to go solo, the agency refuses to compromise, and the group disbands.
The 7-year mark is the graveyard of so many legendary K-pop groups. It's tragic, honestly.
It is. But look at the blueprint BLACKPINK just drew up. They survived the curse by decentralizing the power. Their solo labels, OA, Aloud, Jisoo, and their work with the Black label are thriving completely independently.
Which is amazing to see.
Right. This gives them total unfiltered freedom over their personal brands, fashion ambassadorships, and solo music. Meanwhile, a dedicated bespoke joint venture at YG handles their blockbuster group activities.
It is the holy grail of artist management. You don't have to sacrifice your personal empire to maintain the group's legacy.
Which leaves you, the listener, with something entirely new to ponder. We've talked extensively about how this hybrid model will force executives at HYBE, SM, and JYP to rethink their K-pop contracts.
Oh,
But what if the impact goes further than South Korea?
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Right. Could BLACKPINK's new joint venture syndicate model actually inspire Western pop groups to do the same? Imagine if a group like One Direction or Fifth Harmony used this exact blueprint to bypass Western major label monopolies. They could act as their own corporate syndicate for a reunion tour while maintaining their solo independence. BLACKPINK might not have just rewritten the rules for K-pop. They might have just handed a playbook to the entire global music industry.
It is a complete redistribution of power from the corporations to the artists, and we are just seeing the beginning of it.
Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update. You've been listening to Starscope K Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.